Vamos carajo, brothers, this is your boy JT, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings, a series, of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it, and there has been a whole host of transfer action happening over the past 12 hours to get our teeth stuck into. That is right. Since we last spoke to you, Marc Roca has now become an official Leeds United player. Arnaud Kalimuendo has had major updates coming forward. Leeds have been targeting not one but two new strikers, as well as going in for Tyler Adams once more. But let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the meat of the act. Just quickly before we do get into the rest of the video, there are a hell of a lot more of you who have just joined us very recently since we've been doing these transfer videos, and as you'll see in these videos, we like to break down some statistics. However, one statistic that is brutally alarming is that 77.2% of you are not subscribed. We are moonwalking our way up there, so if you could please help support me, support you by smashing that subscribe button down below, then that would be very much appreciated. Now, on to the rest of the video. Now, first of all, ever since signing Marc Roca, Leeds are looking for another midfielder. That is right, we are looking to bolster up that midfield, and I'm telling you, I think we're going to get two more midfielders in the eventual likelihood that Kalvin Phillips does depart the club. Now, one that Leeds are apparently one step closer to securing is another Jesse Marsch favourite. That is right, Leeds are getting very close to signing Tyler Adams. There was a lot of talk about Sander Berge, and we will get into that very soon. However, Tyler Adams does look like he could be closing in on a move over to Leeds United. Now that RB Leipzig have completed the £10 million signing of Wolfsburg muscle-bound Swiss international Xaver Schlauger, according to Bully News, my feeling is yes, he is going to leave the club this summer, Fabrizio Romano told the Que Golazo podcast. Recently, when he was quizzed about the prospect of Tyler Adams reuniting with former Red Bull Arena coach Jesse Marsch. That's what I'm talking about, baby. At the moment, there is still nothing agreed with any club, but many clubs are exploring the possibility of this, including Leeds United. Of course, he is a name they are considering in Leeds, with Jesse Marsch as normal to considering as an interesting opportunity for the midfield, obviously because he's had the links with Jesse Marsch before. Jesse Marsch has not only had the links with him, but he's a fan favourite of Jesse Marsch. But do you guys want Tyler Adams? I know if it's going to come between Sander Berge or Tyler Adams, just off of the mere comments that I've had on my past few videos alone, I'm telling you, I know you guys would rather have Sander Berge, and it does look like they are going to be going for a similar price, around that 20 to 25 million pound valuation, although for some reason it actually looks like Sander Berge might cost a tiny bit more. But you guys are definitely much more keen on the Sander Berge signing, but you will see massive developments within these couple of stories now that now that Marc Roca has been confirmed as a Leeds United player. But if you could only have one of them, which one would it be? Let me know down in the comment section down below. One for Tyler Adams and two for Sander Berge. For me personally, if we could only have one of them, I think I might be edging towards Tyler Adams. I really do think I might be edging towards Tyler Adams. I really think that we need some serious defensive stability in there. And I think you could argue that Sander Berge is the more complete midfielder, and he's going to offer more to actually our midfield as a whole, and especially our attack from that holding midfield role. Obviously, he's played in both the attacking midfield role and the defensive midfield role, and he may be more well versed in that area. However, I do think Tyler Adams will help us out immensely defensively, and I probably have to go for Tyler Adams. However, I would love to sign both of them, and I still think there is a seriously high possibility of doing that. I don't know what that means for Marc Roca, but he is touted for big things, is Marc Roca, so maybe he could displace both of them anyway. However, the reason why we are looking at three potential midfielders is because Leeds United seemed pretty resigned to losing Kalvin Phillips, and as of late last night, this transfer target took another massive twist. That is right, Paris Saint-Germain have made a formal approach to Leeds United for Kalvin Phillips, according to the Daily Mirror. Phillips' future at Leeds is uncertain amidst interest from Premier League champions Manchester City, and the fact that he has not yet signed a new contract pretty much proves that he is going to be out on his way over to either Manchester or now Paris. I mean, how crazy is that? Now, keeping hold of Phillips has become even harder for the Yorkshire Giants as PSG have made contact about signing him. PSG want to know what the level of fee will be needed to convince Leeds to part with Phillips. £55 million is claimed to be the sum the club could find hard to refuse. Now, £55 million, little bit off the valuation I was looking at, to be honest, but £55 million and for him to go abroad, I don't know. I'd much rather our players, if they did have to leave, go abroad rather than playing for other English clubs, and Paris Saint-Germain could be a very good option for Kalvin Phillips. I mean, he wants to play at the elite level of Europe. I mean, I still think Man City is a better option for him. I think Man City, he would be playing for a better team. He'd be competing for the same kind of level in the Champions League, the same tier. I think they'd actually probably get further than Paris Saint-Germain, and he'd still be playing in the premium competition of the world, which is the Premier League. So I do think Manchester City is more of a delectable option for him. Furthermore, they have actually offered us players that we could get in return for Kalvin Phillips, whether it be Delap or anyone else. And I feel like the City move does make a little bit more sense at the moment. However, if PSG come in with the big bucks and they want to splash a little bit more of that green cashola, we already do know about Chairman Nassim Al-Khelaifi's relationship with Radrizzani. And could that sway things over in favour of the Peruvian club? Whoa, this might be the turning point here. I've just seen this. It is suggested that he could bank a bumper pay rise and move up to £200,000 a week at the Parc des Princes, and I don't think Man City are offering those kind of wages right now. 200 grand a week, oh my god, that is mouth-watering stuff. Could he be on his way to Paris? Who knows? However, one man that we would want to replace him if that likelihood did become a reality is Sander Berge, and Leeds United are seriously considering a transfer bid for brilliant £35 million star, which is of course the Blades man Sander Berge. The former Valgarenga star joined the Blades in a £20.7 million move in January 2020 and helped his new side to an impressive 9th place finish during their first season back in the Premier League. Despite reported interest from elsewhere, Berge remained with the club and scored 6 goals in 24 appearances as they missed out on an immediate return to the Premier League with a playoff semi-final defeat against Nottingham Forest. Now, it seems after that, a lot of clubs have come calling. There are reports earlier this month from an unnamed club that there was an offer for Berge and that Serie A giants Napoli were also interested with a move for the superstar, and it does look like that unnamed club has been touted to be Leeds United, and it does look like Leeds are stepping up the gears in the terms of the chase for him. Now, which one will we go in harder for? Are we going to go in harder for Tyler Adams or are we going to go in harder for Sander Berge? It does look like this Kalvin Phillips thing is hotting up, and it sounds from what I'm hearing from the ITK dons around is that Leeds are trying to get this whole midfield situation wrapped up by the time we go on tour, on our pre-season tour, shall we say. Man City also trying to do that with their own squad, so that is going to have massive implications for Kalvin Phillips' future, and it does look like we're really stepping up the gears now to get Sander Berge in. But I will go back to the old question, Sander Berge or Tyler Adams, which one will we get done first? Which one will we get done, if any of them? And which one do you want to get done? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Now, an area that Leeds have briefly spoken about improving, and an area that I guess some fans really want, that I'm not too crazy about, is a new goalkeeper. Phil has claimed that Leeds United want to bring in another goalkeeper this summer, obviously to sit behind Illan Meslier. We're not going to get anyone to improve on him. He said there is a discussion going on at Leeds at the moment about what to do with the goalkeepers. Meslier will be first choice again, but they are thinking about signing someone more experienced to back up for him. They've got Christopher Klesen, who I think they really like and played really well in that game down at Wolves. However, there is just a slight concern that if Meslier was to get a long-term injury, they might need someone a bit more proven in there. And obviously, the main name being linked right now is the cycling GK Ben Foster. He came out on his Fozcast podcast recently, claiming that he would be happy to be a number 2 goalkeeper somewhere at this current point in his career. Now, could that place be Leeds United? Could we be looking at this from a social media perspective perspective and seeing that he could give us a massive boost with his online presence. He could attract a whole new younger audience to the club potentially. I mean, Leeds are such a colossus club that I don't think that would really affect things that much, and I think we are looking generally on the footballing perspective. He did play decently for Watford last year, and he featured in a lot of their games for them. So as a backup goalkeeper, he's got the experience, he's been there, he's done it, he's got the t-shirt. Would he be what Leeds need really to help us push to the next level? I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on it yet. I'm not sure that we necessarily need to go too big in for a backup goalkeeper. However, you never know. Klassen is still very young, and I don't think we could go very wrong with a Ben Foster. But if we could get a backup goalkeeper, who would you guys want? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Now, another player Leeds United have been looking at, and a new target that has been emerging, is Schalke and Wales winger Robbie Matondo. That is right, Leeds United are set to face competition for both Celtic and Brentford. For Robbie Matondo's signature this summer. The Welsh international is reportedly a target for Leeds, as Jesse Marsch looks to strengthen his first team attacking options ahead of the upcoming Premier League campaign. According to German outlet Bild, Leeds are just one of a number of clubs tracking Matondo this summer, who signed for Schalke back in 2019 from Manchester City. The winger spent last season on loan at Belgian side Cercle Bruges, scoring 10 goals in 27 appearances, with his contracts being set to expire next season. Schalke may be forced to sell Matondo this summer in order to avoid losing him on a free. They spent around £10 million on the Welsh international back in 2019 and would like to recoup some of their money. So it does look like he is going to be going for around the fee of 10 to, well, not even 10, probably less than £10 million. You're looking at around £5 to £6 million for Robbie Matondo. Could be a very interesting option here. And could this be who Victor Orta was flying off to see? Although I don't think he would have still been at Bruges by the time that Victor Orta did set his plane over to Belgium. However, could this be a cheaper Noah Lang alternative that Leeds could target? Could he be someone who would come in instead of a Gonzalo Plata and fulfill that quota of being a cheap young prospect for the future? Who knows? I think this could be one to look out for. One to really look out for is, of course, PSG youngster Arnaud Kalimuendo, who Leeds United have made an offer for, and apparently it is being linked that Leeds, who have spent, who have bid £17.1 million for Kalimuendo, are not far off the valuation of him. Apparently, Leeds will only have to spend up to in and around £19 million to secure the services of Kalimuendo. So we are only a couple of £1 million off his valuation. Obviously, as we spoke about before, the big sticking point with Kalimuendo is that PSG want a buyback option in his clause. Now that, for me, like I said it before, is a big sticking point. The report reaffirms that Rafinha will leave and says the PSG gem is earmarked to help Jesse Marsch reshape the attacking ranks at Thorpe Arch. And obviously, because of his versatility and his ability to play not only as a striker but as a wide player, so he could also feature in that wide number 10 role, he would be a perfect addition for Leeds United, and someone who Leeds fans are starting to get a little bit excited about. But we really have to find out what is going on with this release clause, with Paris Saint-Germain putting all these tricky stipulations into his contract. We are going to have to figure out how these things develop over the next couple of weeks, but for now, he does seem like a very interesting option. Another new option that Leeds are looking at is, apparently we're reportedly keeping close tags on former Krasnodar striker Eric Botheim. According to Team Talk, the Premier League side Leeds are interested in making a summer move for Krasnodar's prolific Norwegian striker Eric Botheim, who is now available on a free transfer. The 22-year-old joined the Russian side last January and has a contract with them until 2025. However, given an unfortunate turn of events that brought about by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Botheim's contract now stands cancelled and the player is now available on a free transfer. Now, would you want him on a free? That's the question. Would you want him as a backup on a free? For me, it's not really screaming ambition from Leeds United if we do go in for him. Now, if we go in for a Kalimuendo or we're going for a Castellanos and bring him in as a backup extra option, then I think, you know what, that does make a little bit more sense. But then I think you're finding yourself in a position where you're diluting the wage bill in order to get an extra striker in who is probably not going to feature anyway, because we do already have Bamford and Joffrey Gelhardt. And then if we sign another striker, we've got 3, and you want him as your 4th option. And then you've also got Rodrigo and Tyler Roberts who can also feature up there. I don't think there's much of a point in us going for him. Maybe as a backup, like I said, but I want us to go for a little bit more of an exciting option, and we are keeping tabs on him, but I think that's all we're doing right now. Let me know what you guys think about Mr. Eric Botheim, and if you would want him, but for me, I don't think it is that crazy of an option. Now, another story late last night, signing Phil Jones will not solve Leeds United's defensive problems. Wow, who would have thunked it? Manchester United defender Phil Jones, who can barely get a game in for them, is not going to be the answer to all our defensive issues. Who would have bloody thought it, mate? Bloody hell, this is a crazy story, mate. How have you come out with this one? This is bloody batshit crazy, mate. That is mental. That is absolutely crazy. Barcelona are apparently also interested in bringing back Rafinha. Not the right Rafinha that we were talking about. However, he is a Rafinha who Leeds have also been linked with in securing another creative midfielder for the Whites, but it doesn't look like that is going to happen anytime soon. And then finally, Andrew Hawkins has come out urging Leeds to only accept the right offer for star winger Rafinha. But those are all the stories linked in and around Leeds United so far. Let me know which one of these stories excites you the most and which one you want to get done very, very soon. But for now, guys, it has been your boy JT, and I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my